Unsolved but not forgotten. 20 years later, after the murders of a mother and her 2 kids, the prime suspect, Robert Fisher, remains one of America's most wanted fugitives. But is he dead or alive? ABC 15 has been featuring this case in all of our newscasts today. And tonight, ABC 15's Sonu Wasu speaking with the dedicated investigators in this case who refuse to put the case to rest until they get some kind of answers here. But a warning tonight, some of the details in this story are graphic.
74th Street North, there's just an explosion.
This is by far the most heinous crime that we've had here in Scottsdale.
A case that made international headlines. A case involving a father accused of brutally murdering his wife and 2 children.
To take a knife and slaughter your children, to slash their throats and ultimately slash your wife's throat, that is a different level. That is an up-close, personal.
Scottsdale police have released hours and hours of home videos showing the Fisher family in happier days.
Happy birthday to you.
Celebrating birthdays, attending dance recitals, endless hours of playtime in the backyard. But all is not what it seems. Those who knew the family saw another side. Pastor GREGG CANTELMO counseled the couple.
They were having marital difficulties. I guess that's about the most I'd say.
Marital difficulties that exploded in rage when Mary Fisher threatened divorce.
The motive is probably the $64,000 question when you look at it.
The bodies of Mary and her children, Brittany and Bobby, discovered in the charred rubble after police say Fisher rigged up his home to explode in a house fire and then vanished. This picture of him withdrawing $280 from an ATM the night before the murders, the last image caught on camera. 10 days later, another big clue. Also, the last one investigators would find. Mary Fisher's car found abandoned in the Tonto National Forest near Young, Arizona. The family dog also found alive right by that car. It led to a massive search in the area, and to this day, it has sparked the question, is Robert Fisher alive, or did he die out in the wilderness? The Tonto National Forest was well-known terrain for Robert Fisher. Police say this is an area where he came to get away, hunt, camp, a place he really enjoyed. Described as an avid outdoorsman, even survivalist by friends, many believe Fisher knew the layout of this thick forest land more than others.
The area where we found the forerunner is a very remote, very rural area. When it's all said and done, there's a lot of caves.
Scott Wood worked as an archaeologist for the U.S. Forest Service for 40 years. He knows the area.
It was a bit of a sensation for us on the forest at the time. People have been able to get lost and die out there and not be discovered for some years. I mean, there's plenty of space out there.
Steep terrain, deep canyons dotted with caves, big and small.
Then there's some little tiny ones that you could probably crawl into to hide, but you'd asphyxiate if you stayed in there for very long.
Then there's the issue of boundaries.
You're also up in the area of Canyon Creek, which starts up on the Tonto, ends up on the Apache Reservation. A large part of that section of the reservation is pretty roadless and pretty remote.
An area investigators say has not really been searched to this day. Some detectives strongly believe Fisher is still out there somewhere, getting the last laugh, perhaps watching this report. These age progression photos show what Fisher would look like today.
You have to remember, everybody's 20 years old. So Robert Fisher will turn 60 in April.
But most people we spoke to believe there's no way Fisher is still alive.
Usually, if somebody's trying to do something like that, they're leaving a trail of broken into houses and stolen vehicles. I mean, you're not going to walk to Canada. You're going to leave some trail of criminal activity on the way.
Former County Attorney Rick ROMLEY, who charged Fisher with the brutal murders in 2001, agrees.
Do you think he's still alive today?
My supposition is no, he's not alive. But, you don't close the case, because you just never know.
Investigators are far from storing away the files on this one just yet. Detectives say tips are still coming in.
The case is still an active investigation. We still get tips on a weekly basis, if not daily basis.
So to this day, the case remains open, and Fisher's face still stares back at you as one of America's most wanted 20 years later.
It does eat you inside a little bit every day. And when it doesn't go solved for 20 years, it eats at them.
Sonu Basu, ABC 15, Arizona.
You know, it's been decades since I covered this case, Stephen. I'll still never forget investigators telling me that he had a bad back, which caused a distinct walk. He had severe scarring from the surgeries. And really, in the early years, investigators were zeroing in on that, hoping that that would be the tell if he really changed his appearance. It's got to be so frustrating for them to still be on it.
No confirmed sightings in 20 years. So, you know, gotta wonder where he is, if he's even still alive.
Want to look back on anything or stay up to date on this ongoing investigation? Just check out the special coverage section on abc15.com/Robert Fisher. All our reporting right there.